good, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to react to Fantastic Hip Hop. Why Jay-Z is about to drop a diss track on Drake. I thought Jay-Z stopped rapping. Why would he drop a diss? Need to know. Let's get into
the hip hop space, things are only speeding up in terms of the direction where everything in the genre is headed. And now, most recently, there is a rumor emerging in the industry that none other than Jay-Z is about to come back outside for the first time since 2017 with new solo music. And now, what this supposed report is telling us is that Jay had a private listening event in New York City recently with some close friends and collaborators and had an entire new album's worth of material, which out of everything Jay previewed was highlighted by music that, amongst everything else, addressed everything about the whole Super Bowl controversy and debacle Jay has been caught in with Lil Wayne, and even bigger than that, straight up called out and dissed Drake. And while none of this is confirmed yet, I do think that we are going to see something from Jay-Z coming soon, not too far in the near future, and that this is going to be some of the most pivotal music he releases in a very long time. But now,
Well, I hope it releases on Friday. I'm get so sick of these announcements and shit not happening for like 5 months. Cause don't tell me then, okay? Just surprise me or something.
Jay-Z and everything that's about to go down between him and
Heebie-jeebie.
Drake, and with all of this new music. Over everything, the main reason why he is about to come back out in a way that we have never seen is because when we look at the state of where Jay-Z is at right now, there has not been a more important time for him to speak up in years. And at this point in Jay's career, he has shown us that he is never going to be releasing music without some sort of a greater purpose, as from 2017 with 444 to all of his features onward from this very moment. Hove has shown that his new standard isn't to just rap to collect a bag or to boost his streaming numbers, but it's to speak on something that's very important to the current state of his life or career. Whether that was his personal failures as a man on 444, or whether it was clearing up the air around where he and Kanye stood on tracks like 2018's What's Free, and even later on in 2021 with Donda itself. And now currently, in Jay-Z's career, despite him still being a very active presence in the culture behind the scenes, there is just too much going on for him to...
Wait, he was on Donda? Am I tweaked? Oh, he's on a song? Maybe I heard it and I just can't. Like I said, around 2020, 2019 and forward has been like a whirlwind of like some crazy stuff, you feel me? Twilight Zone.
Stay in the shadows, as his name has just been mentioned too much for him to stay silent for this long without damaging or hurting his reputation. Because first off, with the entire Super Bowl situation, this is a moment that has put Jay-Z at the helm of two major conflicts with two of the other biggest rappers on the planet in both Drake and Lil Wayne. And now while Lil Wayne has only ranted about his frustration about the decision for Kendrick Lamar to be picked over him in his hometown of New Orleans for the biggest show he could ever perform at to this point yet, on the other side of this, Drake has been sneak dissing Jay-Z for months through his social media posts, and has been hitting pretty below the belt, as he has done things like post a picture of Beyonce's sister Solange, which we all know Jay had some issues with when she called him out back in the 2010s for the way he treated Beyonce. And obviously with Drake posting on his story and knowing the fact that Drake puts more effort into what he posts on social media than he does with most of his actual lyrics, that this was obviously very intentional and was supposed to send a message to Jay. From these to then Drake making some other petty posts that have been targeted at both Jay and Kendrick about the Super Bowl as a whole, as Drake has expressed his desire to seemingly crash the Super Bowl and make an appearance like Bane did in The Dark Knight Rises. Between every time Drake has seemingly tried to step on the fact that Kendrick Lamar is playing the Super Bowl, to now knowing that more Drake music is actually on the horizon, as he has an entire collab album with Party Next Door on the radar that's supposed to be released before the end of the year. It's safe to say that with everything going on with Drake, that no matter what bag we see him in musically in terms of what he drops next, that he is going to be throwing some shade at Jay-Z for giving Kendrick a platform to perform a diss track that has ruined his entire reputation on the biggest stage any artist can have in the world. And in addition to this, beyond just Drake being mad at Jay for giving the moment to Kendrick, Drake's also mad that Jay took this moment away from Lil Wayne and maybe him as a result, because despite some vague comments,
I'm gonna say it's not because it's a drink, or it's not. Personally, what I think is it's not because it was taken from Lil Wayne for Lil Wayne. I feel like it was because it was given to his op after he won already. He kind of dissed him in his little 7-Eleven Super Bowl commercial, and then also I think it's because he felt like he would be included at the Super Bowl if Lil Wayne was there, and so all of that intertwined. Because I mean, I don't know the relationship behind the scenes. They could be the best of friends, but you're telling me you chose to go to a basketball game to be petty instead of being at this man's Louisiana Fest or Yeezy Weezy Anna Fest, whatever. And y'all are just so tight or whatever. Or maybe is he not allowed back in America? Has he been over here since? Like, I don't know, but that's a little weird to me. So initially, I'm not gonna go to like, oh, that's just his dog and he just riding for his dog. No, bro. Like, huh?
something Jay-Z has controlled for a good amount of time at this point. And whether intentional or not, Jay has now picked multiple artists who Drake is in direct competition with to perform at the event, both in people like The Weeknd and now Kendrick Lamar. So with all of this, just from this situation alone, we see that Jay-Z has...
And Kendrick Lamar already performed 2 years ago. So maybe he's like, oh, he already got to do it. But no, he's headlining this shit. Yeah.
He has rappers who he has competed alongside for decades, like Nas and Eminem, have also been way more active than he is, and have been putting out music that has made a lot of noise. Because of where these two are at in terms of their prevalence within the culture, and even with the quality of what they are releasing alone. And even on top of this, someone like Eminem specifically taking a dig at Jay-Z on his track Toby, where he said that he watched Jay-Z when they were on the same track Renegade back when the Blueprint dropped. So because Eminem outperformed him when they were toe-to-toe, Jay could never be ranked higher than him. From the actual beef Jay has with Drake, to his race to have the greatest legacy against people like Nas and Eminem, to all of the other drama and controversy surrounding Jay right now as well. Jay-Z has a lot to answer to, and if he is still the same Jay-Z who he has prided everything he has ever built his name on since the 1990s, the only way to move through this situation is going to be to release music and answer to all of the noise and chaos surrounding his name and brand right now. So when we look at these reports and then look around and see the moment in time we are both in hip-hop and in culture as a whole, Jay-Z really needs to release another album because the stakes have almost never been higher, which is obviously saying a lot. And now when it comes to Jay-Z and everything he needs to address, obviously with all of this on this project, we are bound to see Jay diss Drake on a track here in some capacity, because with the way Drake has been acting, and I am sure with the way he is only going to take things further and further, because we know Drake never stops sending petty jabs people's way, their feud is going to reach the highest point it ever has been, and the way it has always been heading for years, as these two have really had bad tensions for years, where quietly they have made constant moves against one another. As back in the mid-2010s, from Drake telling Jay-Z that he was going to join his own music streaming service Tidal, and then him popping out and signing a deal with Apple Music out of nowhere to Jay's surprise right after, to Drake making Jay record a whole verse on his track Pop Style on his remix with Ye, and then only including one line from Jay's entire verse to pretty much try and embarrass and diminish his presence. To then Jay-Z sneak dissing Drake on nearly every single collab they have ever done, which in of itself, Jay has only even appeared on these Drake albums to assert his dominance as an MC over him every time he can. To then Drake hopping in the studio.
I would have to go back through their collabs. I thought they had Pound Cake. Do they have more songs? Oh, Love All. I forgot. I like that song. I'm not gonna lie. Light Up, Talk Up, Love All. I've only heard Love All, Pound Cake, and maybe Light Up. That sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Studio with Beyonce and Jay when she was working on her dance album Renaissance. And after hearing what that album sounded like and getting all the insider info, going out and releasing his own dance album right before hers in Honestly Nevermind, which ultimately caused people to think that Beyonce stole Drake's idea. Meanwhile, it was the other way around. All in all, even before the Super Bowl, this rivalry between Drake and Jay-Z had been building for so long that something eventually was going to happen like this. But now with this moment being the biggest and most important clash the two have ever had, it makes sense that on this new Jay-Z album, that he is going to address Drake in a fashion like we have never seen. And now with this, while I'm sure Jay is going to throw some heavy lyrical jabs Drake's way, I don't think this is going to be anything like Kendrick's diss tracks, which were these loud and in-your-face moments that got the attention of the entire culture, nor are they going to be like Jay's diss tracks in the past, like Takeover, and instead...
Because he's older. I mean, you know, like, I don't think this is going to be repeat Jay-Z versus Nas. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like he's going to do this in a respectable way, because I remember with the Jay-Z and Nas thing, didn't Jay-Z's mom make him apologize or something like that? Because he, like, just said some outlandish, disrespectful stuff. Like, he really crossed the line. And I think he's older, has wisdom. I feel like every time that he's raps now, that he's like just shedding wisdom on everyone's ears type of thing. So I feel like he can read somebody down, like he can really diss you, but in a more so like a parent telling you they're disappointed in you and how you need to fix it, so it doesn't feel as like oh, this is my op, I gotta go fight them. It's just like, dang, that's what I did. Dang, it just make you feel bad, and it's like you can't even say much to it because it is such a wise perspective. Sometimes they be tripping though, so just depends on what he says, how he does this, how he portrays it. But I feel like that's going to be the vibe more so than like Kendrick versus Drake type of energy.
Jay-Z sound equally livid as he does wise. This will create an atmosphere that really no other MC can right now. And overall, the goal with these will be to intimidate Drake and make him just stop acting the way he does. And while it
He's
seems like we
not
will be getting a
going
song
to.
like this very soon, when it comes to the timeline of all of this, because of the fact that when we look at the grand picture of this all, Jay-Z is someone who has actually too many powerful connections and brands that he works with to get into a gritty rap beef where he can potentially lose everything he has built over the years. This track is definitely going to have a prestige to it that most diss tracks just never do. And because of all of this, it will be coated with subliminal disses that will humiliate Drake, but that not everybody will realize unless they're really paying attention.
Exactly, because especially with him possibly being linked to some of the things, and it doesn't seem like it's in the same way. It seems like it's on some, like they just got people out of here type thing. But being linked to something regarding Diddy, that I feel like he there's more ammunition that I feel like a rapper could come back with at Jay-Z, like a lot of things he could say. So I think he is going to probably sneak this or use metaphors and everything where you're not really going to understand.
Before the Super Bowl. And in addition to this, as the Grammys are also right around this time, and they have another chance to not give the Album of the Year to Beyonce, which is another major issue Jay-Z has been livid about recently, as he feels that the Grammys are rigged, as they've never respected someone, even of Beyonce's stature, with the biggest award they give out in the Album of the Year. This could be another thing that Jay-Z adds to his list of what he wants to address on this project. So overall, knowing all of this and having all the proper
So it's going to be after the damn... Bruh, now I know. Now, I got to wait till after the Super Bowl and the Grammys.
Context. Well, there is definitely going to be a lot that will happen in this time between now and when we actually hear this new album from Jay-Z. And who knows where Drake takes things with him, and even how Lil Wayne may address all of this entire situation when the Super Bowl actually happens. All in all, it's clear that this has been the most important time for Jay-Z to release an album since 444, and in order for him to keep his rap legacy in the place that so many have had it for years, he is due to give us a new record and address everything going on around him. Which, from what we have seen and what everything is building to so far, a lot of this is going to be about where everything's been headed with Drake and maybe even Lil Wayne, and no matter what direction Jake goes in here, I'm sure that this is going to be another moment that is just going to be so revealing about how Drake has been perceived by his peers for years. Maybe even how Lil Wayne has protected him from the scrutiny by having such a good reputation, which he has now thrown out the window, which that would just be another insane rabbit hole to say. And beyond all of this, at this point, it would really show us what's really been going on in and around the rap world as a whole. So with all of this, while so much is in the air, it's clear that whatever happens, this is going to be another moment that is going to shake hip-hop to its very core. And so now with all that said, let me know.
My thing is that why are people so like, why would people think that he couldn't get a Grammy because he did a diss when literally a diss song, 2 diss songs are nominations? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Not Like Us has what, 5 on its own, and Like That has 2, and those were literally diss songs. And those are nominated. So why does he think that if he said anything towards Drake that it would be like they wouldn't give it to Beyonce? No, I'm not getting the correlation, but like I said in the beginning, I don't like when people tell me stuff is coming and I have to wait months and months and months and months and months and years, and I don't like that. It makes me annoyed. You know, when is GTA coming? Next year? Finally? At the end of next year? Stranger Things? When is that? Is Euphoria ever coming back? I'm excited to hear it though. I just need more rap. Like when the music was rolling in so fluidly, like it was somebody released this week a song. I loved that. Now I feel like it is starting to slow down, and I'm not liking it. Okay, I'm not liking it. ASAP release your thing. Kendrick release your thing. Hell, Drake and Party Next Door release your thing. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, I'm gonna say it's not though. Everybody just needs to release their music videos, please. Anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I'll see y'all in the next one.